This is Clergy TV. Arise, shine.
Within the aspects of financial empowerment and wealth creation and building of investments, we need to think very, very, very seriously about something we refer as credit line. And this credit line, which is mainly the preserve of financial institutions and even the cooperatives, is debt money. And this debt money is something that we in this program we will focus very, very, very strongly on, because debt is not something that is supposed to be an enslaver. This is Philip Mora, a financial specialist and a cooperative promoter.
Clergy TV. Kenya is watching.
Debt is not something that is supposed to be an enslaver. It is supposed to be an emancipator. It is like when we can never say that a bridge is given to you just to get you into the center of the river and it drops you into the river. But unfortunately, we have had very many situations. It is okay that we have had instances, many instances, where people have very well succeeded. Like I have mentioned, most cooperative people have borrowed money and it has helped them to build empires. But unfortunately, there are also many situations where debt has enslaved people. You have found families breaking down. You have found very, very, very strongly built investments being auctioned and people losing their property because of debt management. In this program, we will discuss and strongly impress on us, how do you deal with debt? Because debt can be a big emancipator, but it can also be a very big enslaver. We must come together and we must define for ourselves what debt entails. Many people do not recognize that debt money does not belong to you. So many people will try to manage debt money as though it is their income. It is not your income. You cannot go behaving that now your son has a wedding and now because you got a loan, now you can take part of that loan and finance that wedding. Before the wedding ends, you have somebody else in hospital and you have to use that money to finance the hospital. Before anything happens, then somebody else has some other issue, somebody has been arrested and you have to go to court and bail them out, either pay the fine or pay the bail or the bond or whatever it is in court, so that they can secure their freedom. And what you are using is money that does not belong to you. How do I give you my money? And now for a very specific purpose, usually a very agreed purpose. And then you go, and before you reach home, because your brother had been arrested, or because some other person has been dealt a fine because of some other thing, you don't explore about other sources. You think now you have money that you can use. It is very important for us to know, how do you deal with debt money? How do you record? How do you recognize that debt money does not belong to you, so that you can put it to a focus of its purpose. And when you put it on a focus on its purpose, elsewhere here in this program, we will be talking about feasibility studies. That project, because you can't just pick money because you want money. You want to pick money because that money, as I have said, should serve as a bridge. There is a river you want to cross. And now because you do not have sufficient capacity, you are asking for somebody else, an institution, a circle, or an individual to come to your aid, to lay the bridge for you so that you can pass to the other side. And why do you want to pass to the other side? Because that is where your harvest is. Your other side is your project, and the project is where you realize the cash that you are being facilitated by the debt money. We need to sit and look exhaustively about how you deal with debt. I have been in a financial institution, in a cooperative. I know the cry of many cooperatives. I know the cry of many employed people. The cry is what? Manager, I guaranteed somebody a loan, he is not paying. Then the manager is saying to you, no, there is nothing I can do to you. I am going to recover your savings. Your 10-year savings I am going to recover. Why? Because this person took money, did not focus on its purpose, diverted and head up. That is the reason why even initially the Ministry of Cooperative Development, which is the regulator of all the cooperatives and the custodian of the law that governs the cooperatives, used to release lending principles, the credit policy. They used to insist this. You cooperative, you are giving member X a loan. The purpose of that loan has to be specified. They were never satisfied by you saying, I am just borrowing this money to go and equip a supermarket. They insisted, go and to the supermarket and you see it, and you bring the document, you bring the title deed for the document, you bring the trading license, so that we can see this is the purpose that you are applying the money. And you would never even, the cooperatives were not allowed to release money to individuals until the commissioner himself of the cooperative was satisfied that the money was being released to be applied to the particular purpose that it had been specified in that application. But now you discover a new animal, where now there is liberalization and people are given money, which is loan money, cooperative money, bank money. But the tragedy is this: the cooperatives, the banks, and any lenders assume that people know how to use debt money. They trust them. You check at how miserable many people have become, and then you realize some controls were actually necessary. That is the reason why the initial cooperative ministry used to play like a parental role when the cooperatives are releasing money to their members, because the ministry, the mother ministry, used to insist, no, you cannot give your member money, because this is like giving your small child a lesser bread. He will, cut himself with it. So we assume that people know how to use money, so we give them debt money. It's very annoying. In this program, we will be able to discuss exhaustively. Before you are there to use money, even when you have borrowed a loan, can we agree that you have the capacity to use money? And we will be exploring what are the characteristics that are the indicators that the money you are getting is not going to become a burden. It is not going to become a punishment. It is not just going to go to the drain. And people, for a short while, maybe 2 or 3 months, everybody is greeting you and saluting you because you are buying beer here and there and you are enjoying and you are doing the parties. But later, after 6 months, even your house does not have furniture, because the furniture was taken, even the TV was taken, and they are selling the house even. Because they assumed the money they gave you, you were going to apply it to a purpose, which was a seed, a purpose that was going to bring a harvest. Because it is from the harvest that the sources or the resources to pay back the money should be obtained. It is not just by chance, by luck. You have used 1 million shillings. It belongs to other members in a cooperative. It belongs to an institution like a bank. After you have exhausted using it, who tells you that the bank will tell you that now we know your project failed, so sorry, kwa heri enda nyumbani? There is nobody who is going to do that. We have made big mistakes. We have assumed we know how to use money. My brothers and sisters, that one, you need to think twice. You need to think. We will be looking at some of the characteristics of how you know that you are applying debt money in a manner that it does not become a burden to you, it does not become a burden to your family, it does not become a burden to the cooperatives. Because the cooperatives are also quarreling with the regulator. Sasara will tell you. They are unhappy with many cooperatives because they are saying provisioning, debt provisioning. That is what they call it. Debt provisioning. They will come and say, these loans you have given and they have 90 days, they have not been paid. Our requirement, our law now says, can you write off from your profit 50% of that? Beyond 90 days, they tell you, write off 100%. Ile million ulipeana kule, just write it off. Because how do you expect somebody has stayed with your 1 million for 120 days and he is going to pay?
This is CLERGY TV. Arise, shine.